of air travel, passengers really lived the high life. They were served multi-course meals that were actually prepared during flight. But as air travel boomed, this kind of service became impractical, and airlines turned to pre-made meals. Not all food fares well at high altitudes. That's why you don't see any soufflés at 30,000 feet. They couldn't possibly rise to the occasion. It's just one of the restrictions airline chefs need to consider when preparing a menu. Airline meals start with tons of ingredients, literally. Just one facility can turn out 45,000 meals in a single day. Of course, the cooks wash their hands very thoroughly because they don't want any germs stowed away in the meal. They cook on grills that are 5 feet long. At one end, they stir-fry vegetables, while at the other, they sauté potatoes. Then, they spice it up. Airline food isn't as bland as it's reputed to be. Researchers believe that low humidity and the pressurized environment cause our taste buds to work less efficiently in an airplane, something to take into account when you're traveling by air. Recipes vary according to the route. Flights to more exotic locales will offer spicier dishes, while a domestic North American flight usually calls for more moderate seasoning. Cooks fire up different grills for the meat. They prepare food for the crew as well as the passengers. On many airlines, the pilot and co-pilot must eat different meals to minimize the risk of food-related illness compromising the flight. The cooked food will now be blast chilled in special fridges. Cooks scrub up again as they prepare to assemble the meals. They start with the food that needs to be reheated on the plane. It goes into foil containers. Smaller containers inside help control the portion sizes. Cooks must be careful not to overstuff them because that could cause messy spills later. A little sauce and a generous dab of herb butter, and you have the makings of a first-class meal. Finally, the food is covered with a vented lid. With each menu change, chefs must meet with airline representatives. They serve up sample dishes and discuss the ingredients with them. There's often a lot of negotiation before the final menu is agreed upon. Every detail about an airline meal is carefully planned, right down to the plates and bowls and how they're placed on the serving tray. It takes a bit of arranging to make everything fit. Once planners finalize the arrangements, they follow that formula in the kitchen. As with any meal, presentation counts for a lot. Of course, meals in economy class are more simple, and the planning less detailed. The food-laden trays go onto trolleys and are rolled into a big refrigerated room where they're arranged according to the flight number. They won't be here for long because every meal is made to be served that day. And all the groundwork beforehand is sure to pay off once passengers and crew are in the air.